talk, and it's okay. I'm fine with that. I just met this morning with Bombs with Eric Nixit, one of the best coach in the world. I really like what he's doing. I think that he did an amazing job bringing Francis to that belt and bringing him to be calm, to be collected. So, and we had very good work together. Like he's a genuinely nice person, and we were saying each other how we should be happy for this event happening, and there's no any bad blood there.
Do you think Saturday night might be emotional for you to see your two students fighting properly, or do you think you'll be able to separate yourself?
Absolutely, 100%. I don't know. I cannot exactly tell which kind of emotion I will be having on Saturday, but certainly I will have. I mean, like if you take just as a random fight, whenever you coach someone, you are kind of emotional because you coach him, you attach to him, and then you can help him more than speak. But this one is even worse because I know the guy in the other side of the cage. We share things together, and I have some thoughts that I think he was wrong in many things. And if on Saturday I make him lose that fight, that might be a victory on the mindset that I had. And if he make Ciryl lose that fight, well, that might be his victory, saying that, well, you know what, I was right. You can be successful living in Paris. You can be a champion living in Europe. And my vision is that that's wrong. My vision is that Conor McGregor become a two-time champ. He was in Dublin, and he made it. And I think Ciryl Gane, coming from MMA Factory Paris, can become one of the best champion that we ever have in that division and stay there for a very long time. And that's kind of thing that will happen on Saturday, and I cannot control that. I don't know the emotion that I will have, or maybe a sadness, maybe joy, maybe I don't know yet what will happen.
Let's talk the sparring. Obviously, both men have admitted they haven't sparred that many times. They sparred a few times. Yeah. When you look at their sparring every session, who do you think got the better of all of those, accumulatively?
You wouldn't believe me if I say you. If I give you the answer, you will believe me. So that do not matter anyway. I mean, a sparring is a sparring. That do not give you any idea how the fight will go. The thing is that you have to keep in mind that Francis could not use his full power and his full potential on his sparring because his strength is to knock people out. If he shows up in the gym and start to knock people out, I will just fire him because he will kill all my guys. So anyway, he wasn't in his full potential and he didn't have his MMA gloves. He had the big gloves, which is good for my guy. The other guy is the gym. So I can let you know that at some point in my gym, there's a ton of guys that was edge him on wrestling, edge him on footwork, edge him on how to duck and how to avoid punches. But that's not the MMA. MMA is how to knock people out, how to beat people. And in that department, I think Francis Ngannou is the alpha male.
Did Francis drop Ciryl in sparring one time? He said he did on the Countdown show.
No, Ciryl Gane never got dropped. No, Francis Ngannou never dropped Ciryl, 100%. But again, Ciryl will not say that because yesterday we was about to go in that DC show. And I said to Ciryl, what will happen? Because DC might ask you if I'm liar. You will have to say the truth. And it's like, yeah, I can say yes, but I will not say that because that's not my style. I will not say that. I knock my partner at the gym down. I will not say that. But yeah, I can. I didn't want to the TV say, oh, you know what? I have this guy in my gym knocking this guy. No. They asked me, oh, do you know that Francis said that you didn't manipulate the tape? And that's why I said, oh, you know what? That's not me, first of all. I have committee manager do that. And I said, you know what? If Francis do not want me to ask my committee manager to release all the footage, because the footage will show Francis bending a knee and going sit down and Ciryl Gane going there to pick him up. That's the truth. That's fact.
Are you tempted to release that full video this week? I mean, you can send it to me and I'll release it for you if you want.
And then you will be the first to bash me all over the place and say that I broke the code and that the gyms had the code and I should not release video. That's what you want?
No, I wouldn't do that. These guys. Thank you.
Right here. I asked Ciryl this, so I'll ask you this. How would you compare Cyryl's striking and his style to Francis's past opponents like Jairzinho and Alistair Overeem?
I'm one of the biggest fan of Overeem. I was coaching Ramos Sukuju back then in Pride when Overeem was fighting. And I know how good he is, but I don't want to disrespect them. It's something else. You people are not ready, or you are not ready to, I mean, like, when I say these people, they don't believe me. But you will find out soon that this guy is the next thing. It's different. You don't stop compare him to anyone. About striking, let's just stop compare. For now, no. I think Arlovski was something when we started about movement and footwork. Arlovski was the new area of something. And then we had the Francis coming with the power and then very athletic and broke everything down. Now, this is the new era. And no one is. When DC said Ciryl Gane is the evolution, I think this is the analyst that I find closer to get what is really Ciryl Gane. Is the evolution, is the next thing, is beyond everything.
Right over here. It's not very common that we have the coach come to speak to us on Media Day. That's something different. So I'm curious how you feel about being here in front of all of us, and if you've ever had any concern that you may be taking attention away from the fighters themselves, or are you actually the perfect intermediary to tell this story for all of us?
I'm not worried about that because my father knows how good and how hard I love them, and how hard I'm pushing them to the light. I mean, if you was my father, you know that I'm ready to die for you. I'm ready to push you. I'm ready to lift you the higher that you can get. So I'm not worried about that. When I'm sitting right there, I know that Ciryl over there, you know that I get his back. So I'm not even worried about that. And again, I don't have only one heart. I'm a trainer, but I'm an agent. There's not too much guy that have that posture that I need to train the guy and shut them out. And as an agent, as a manager, I need to sell the fight. I need to push them. I need to let people know, hey, I have something. And so far, I didn't lie to anyone. When I write to Joe Silva and I was trying to sell Francis to the UFC, Francis was 3-1. 3-1. Who will believe on his father to try to sell him to the UFC? 3-1. I did that. And we finally signed him 5-1. When I signed Ciryl Gane in the UFC, he was 2-0. People, they're saying 3-0, but that's wrong. He was 2-0. The last fight that we did in the TKO, he had already signed the contract with the UFC. But because we had to do that fight, we did that fight. This is how I believe on my guy. This is how I love my guy. This is how I push them hard. So I'm not even worried about people saying, oh, you like the light too much because they buy the comment of Francis. When you have someone say to you, you love the light, believe me, he's not a good guy for you. Because you don't even have to ask the light. My former coach, the guy who trained me as a coach, he have a small gym in France. You know what? When he asks me anything, I will give him. If you want to be on the light all day long, I will put you on the light. When you start to find excuses saying, well, my coach like to be on light, then there's something wrong.
Fernand?
Yes.
Would you say one of the most important things when fighting Francis is to establish good range management, especially when Francis is attacking? Because, you know, we've seen Francis come in crashing with a lot of chaotic, wild flurries, almost hypnotizing his opponent with his arms into making an error until something lands. Would you say that's true?
Yes, and that's very good strategy from him. I mean, Francis is tough. He's huge. And if he start to move, no matter if he touch you clean or he push you, you're going to fall down if you're not ready. So that's a good strategy. But if there's someone who can deviate that strategy, that's Ciryl Gane.
Fernand, right here. Good. Fernand, can you talk a little bit about what fight day is like for you as the coach? I mean, how much are you actually around Ciryl? Do you believe in giving a speech before the fight or during the day? Just can you talk a bit about what it's like for you that entire day leading up to get into the arena?
The day of the fight, you mean? No, the day of the fight. Ciryl is someone very calm who don't need any. I don't need to rely on me mentally because he's aware of that mental is as a muscle. You need to train a muscle and you need to train the mental. So we have a conditioning coach who is taking care of him, who is talking to him. The name is Usman. And Usman is doing a great job building the mindset since the day one. Even before he started the fight, I brought him to the mental coach, and he's working on that mental very long time. And he don't need me for that. I'm just around him, and whenever the time arrives, we have that music that we put in the room, and we start to pack to get the bag ready, and then we pack everything, and we're on the way to the venue. But nothing special, actually.
Thank you.